Welcome to this haven of tranquility amidst the chaos of modern life. It's funny, isn't it, how we've crafted a world with devices meant to save time, yet we find ourselves with less of it each passing day. Take for instance Sarah, who bought the latest smartwatch to keep track of her busy schedule. But instead of managing her time better, she now has a device that pings her every 5 minutes, reminding her how she's merely a human, eternally behind on her to-do list. But what if I told you that a philosophy from ancient Greece could be your secret weapon against the relentless tide of deadlines, notifications, and stress? Yes, Stoicism, a school of thought that's over 2,000 years old, is making a resurgence as the ultimate guide to modern living. This seemingly archaic wisdom holds timeless truths that can help us navigate the digital age with a calm and collected demeanor. In the following minutes, we embark on a journey to uncover the Stoic secrets to inner peace. Imagine a life where you're the eye of the storm, unshaken by the swirling whirlwind of 21st century life. That's what Stoicism promises, a mind fortified against the unpredictable gales of fate. So tighten your seatbelts as we delve into the world of Stoicism, where you'll learn to transform stress into strength and chaos into an opportunity for growth. Welcome to the ultimate Stoicism guide for modern living. Right then, let's rewind the clock back to ancient Greece, where the bustling streets of Athens became the cradle of a philosophical revolution. Enter Stoicism, the brainchild of a chap named Zeno of Citium, around 300 BCE. Legend has it, Zeno got inspired after a shipwreck left him with zilch. Instead of moping, he turned to philosophy to rebuild his life. Talk about making lemonade from life's lemons. Now, picture the ancient Stoics as the ultimate minimalists, arguing that you can enjoy life's banquet without clinging to the tablecloth. They were the cool cats of contentment who'd probably scoff at modern-day consumerism with a sly, knowing smile. Stoicism's head honchos included Seneca, a playwright who doubled as an advisor to the infamous Emperor Nero. Seneca's life was as dramatic as his tragedies. From exile to political intrigue, yet he penned letters filled with Stoic wisdom that would make any self-help guru today take notes. Then there's Epictetus, a former slave who became a freedom-fighting philosopher, teaching that it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. And let's not forget the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius, whose meditations was more or less his personal diary. Talk about introspection on it. Imperial scale. Fun fact. Did you know that these Stoic scholars practiced what they preached? They'd willingly undertake hardships, like cold showers and minimal clothing, to strengthen their resolve. Imagine if they had YouTube back then. Their challenge videos would be all the rage. In a nutshell, Stoicism was less about furrowed brows pondering the meaning of life and more about rolling up your sleeves to live it well. Now that's a history lesson with a twist, wouldn't you say? But how does this all tie into our modern conundrum of being busy yet unfulfilled? Stay tuned as we bridge the millennia and bring Stoic serenity to your digital doorstep. Now let's stroll down the Stoic Hall of Fame, where we'll meet the rock stars of Stoicism. Think of it as a red carpet event, but instead of paparazzi and flashing lights, we've got wisdom and wit that have stood the test of time. First up, we have Zeno of Citium, the original Stoic, who could be aptly nicknamed Captain Adaptability. Post-shipwreck, he famously swapped his cargo for philosophy, showing us that sometimes the best plan B is a total life overhaul. If Zeno had Instagram, he'd be the influencer who turns every mishap into an inspirational quote, with a knack for making resilience look cool. Next, we have Seneca, or, as I like to call him, the dramatist of duality. Advising an emperor by day and scribbling Stoic wisdom by night, Seneca was the ancient world's master of work-life balance. If Nero's court was a chess game, Seneca played the knight, always moving strategically yet bound by the board. His modern counterpart, likely that philosophical friend on Facebook offering sage advice in between political rants. Then there's Epictetus, once a slave who broke his own chains to become a heavyweight champion of the mind. He's the embodiment of the phrase, mind over matter. You can bet that his TED Talks would go viral, teaching us that the real shackles are in our thoughts, not our circumstances. The sage of self-governance, if you will, proving that freedom is not a place, but a state of mind. Last but not least, enter Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. Part emperor, part meditative guru, he penned his meditations not for us, but as personal reminders. Yet, they inadvertently became a self-help manuscript for the ages. Picture him as the CEO who moonlights as a life coach, and whose morning routine includes conquering nations and conquering self-doubt. And there you have it, the Stoic Hall of Fame, a lineup of ancient all-stars whose life hacks are more relevant today than ever. Each one, a testament to finding extraordinary strength in ordinary moments. So, as we gear up to apply their teachings to our 21st century chaos, remember, these guys didn't just philosophize about life, they lived it with unshakable verve. And if they can do it, why can't we? Stay tuned as we unearth the Stoic strategies that can help you upgrade your mindset for the modern world. Now let's unpack what I like to call the Stoic superpowers, the 4 core virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're practical tools that you can wield like a superhero to navigate the complexity of today's world. First up, the superpower of wisdom. It's like the mental Swiss Army knife for modern dilemmas. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, is about making informed choices, learning from your experiences, and adapting to the ever-changing digital landscape. Take Alex, a programmer who's overwhelmed with constant updates in the tech world. Instead of panicking, he employs Stoic wisdom, focusing on learning one new skill at a time, fully aware that mastering the basics will get him further than racing to catch every trend. On to courage, the Stoic's inner strength. It's the fortitude to post that unfiltered opinion on social media, despite the fear of backlash, or the audacity to cut through the noise and pursue a passion that doesn't boast a conventional hashtag. Mia, for instance, uses her Stoic courage to start a podcast on environmental conservation, a topic she's passionate about, even though it's not the most popular or lucrative. That's courage with purpose, a hallmark of Stoic valor. Justice is our third superpower, and no, we're not talking about capes and courtroom dramas. Stoic justice is about fairness, integrity, and doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. It's like Liam, who finds a wallet full of cash at the gym. Instead of pocketing it, he tracks down the owner because it's not about the reward, it's about doing what's right. That's justice that resonates with the Stoic spirit, ensuring harmony in one's own life and in society. Lastly, we've got temperance, the art of self-control. It's the willpower not to binge, watch another series on Netflix, but instead to hit the pause button and read a book. Or like Zoe, who has the latest smartphone with all the bells and whistles, but chooses to limit her screen time each day. She practices temperance not just to defy the allure of notifications, but to foster meaningful moments offline. It's about enjoying life's pleasures without becoming a slave to them, finding that sweet spot of moderation. So, there you have the Stoic superpowers: wisdom to navigate complexity, courage to stand for what you believe, justice to maintain moral integrity, and temperance to master self-discipline. These virtues aren't just for toga-wearing philosophers. They're as applicable today as they were in the days of Zeno and Marcus Aurelius. Superheroes in the movies might save the world, but with the Stoic virtues, you can save your day from turning into a scene of chaos. As we roll up our sleeves and prepare to apply these superpowers to the hustle of our daily lives, remember, these virtues are what made the Stoics legends in their time, and they can do the same for you. Stick around, for next up, we're diving into practical Stoic exercises that will help you harness these powers in the digital battlefield of modern life. And now, folks, enter the dichotomy of control, a Stoic blockbuster hit featuring you as the lead, navigating the razor's edge of control. This isn't your typical Hollywood dichotomy, but it sure has the drama. The Stoics laid down this simple rule: some things are in our control, and some just aren't. Just aren't. Cue the whimsical scenarios, where our stars grapple with this epic truth. Take Jeff. Jeff's the guy who tries to control everything. We're talking down to the weather. He's got 7 weather apps on his phone, and complains to anyone who'll listen when the forecast fails him. It was supposed to be sunny for my beach volleyball game. Why, oh why has the universe forsaken me? Shouts Jeff to a cloud which quite frankly doesn't care. Jeff, buddy, the weather's not in your control, but bringing an umbrella is. See the difference? Then there's Tina, who sends a text and stares at her phone, willing the other person to reply. She's convinced that if she just wishes hard enough, the typing bubbles will magically appear. Spoiler alert, Tina. Telepathy didn't make the cut in the last app update. Tina's on a first name basis with not in my control, but someone forgot to introduce her to letting go and living life. Now, let's flip the script with it. What to do? Cameo. Enter Dave, who's got the stoic savvy. He focuses on what he can control. His effort, his attitude, his actions. Traffic jam. That's cool. He'll listen to a podcast and learn something new. Rude comment on social media. No sweat, he'll just serve up some kindness in return. That's right, Dave is the master of his own peace, because he knows the secret. Work on the internal and let the external do its thing. The dichotomy of control isn't just a fancy stoic term. It's the secret sauce to not flipping your lid every time life doesn't RSVP to your plans. Embrace what you can change, accept what you can't. So next time you're like Jeff with his weather woes or Tina with her telepathic texting attempts, take a deep breath, channel your inner Dave, and remember, control is about steering your own ship, not dictating the sea. Still with me? Great, because we're about to get hands on with some stoic exercises that will turn these lessons into real-life super skills. Stay tuned as we step into the gym of the mind. No sweatbands required, just the readiness to flex your philosophical muscles. After all, Stoicism isn't just a spectator sport, it's a full-contact art of living. As we navigate the labyrinth of our daily routines, let's explore how the ancient art of Stoicism can serve as a GPS, guiding us through the traffic jams of stress. Imagine you have a toolkit, one that's been passed down through the eons, chiseled from the very bedrock of human experience. This is where we introduce Stoic exercises into the mix, practical techniques that can stress-proof your life like a well-worn suit of armor. Let's venture into some animated examples, shall we? Meet Clara, a graphic designer who faces a mountain of deadlines. Every email notification is like an arrow threatening to puncture her calm. Enter the Stoic exercise of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Each morning, Clara visualizes the challenges that might come her way, picturing the worst-case scenarios with vivid detail. By doing this, she's not succumbing to pessimism. Rather, she's fortifying herself against the impact of potential stressors. When a last-minute request comes in, Clara is unfazed. She's already mentally rehearsed this moment, and instead of reacting with frustration, she responds with a strategy and a smile. Now, picture Tom, a busy dad trying to balance work and family. The chaos of balancing both worlds could make anyone's head spin faster than a fidget spinner in the hands of a child. Tom practices the view from above, another Stoic exercise, where he imagines zooming out of his situation, seeing his life from a high vantage point. This aerial perspective helps him realize the trivial nature of his so-called crises. The spilt milk at breakfast or the traffic delay becomes minuscule from this height, and Tom's stress dissipates like clouds parting after a storm. And then there's Ella, a student caught in a whirlwind of exams and social pressures. She turns to journaling, a time-honored Stoic practice, to anchor her thoughts. Each night, Ella reflects on her day, writing down what stressed her out and how she responded. This isn't just a diary, it's a mirror reflecting her progress. She begins to notice patterns, identifies her triggers, and devises strategies for improvement. Over time, Ella's journal becomes a testament to her growing resilience, a storybook where the heroine becomes stronger with every chapter. What do these vignettes of modern life tell us? They show that Stoic exercises aren't dusty relics. They're as vibrant and vital today as ever. By integrating these exercises into your daily routines, you too can buffer the buffeting winds of stress. Whether it's through visualization, perspective shifting, or reflective writing, these Practices can turn the heat down on life's pressure cooker. So, there you have it, the Stoic gym for your mind. By adopting these exercises, you're not just surviving the storm, you're learning to dance in the rain. Let these animated examples inspire you to craft your own Stoic rituals. Remember, it's not about eliminating stress, it's about transforming it into a force that propels you forward. Next up, we'll explore how the Stoics' approach to relationships can turn potential conflicts into opportunities for personal growth and deeper connections. Because after all, isn't life the ultimate co-op game? Stay with us as we continue to stitch the wisdom of the past into the fabric of our modern lives. In the realm of personal relationships, where emotions can roller coaster like a soap opera, Stoic wisdom shines like a lighthouse amidst stormy seas. Let's paint the scene with a splash of humor and delve into how Stoicism can deflate drama and infuse harmony into our connections with others. Consider the classic lovers' tiff. Lisa and Mike are debating for the umpteenth time about where to eat. Lisa wants sushi, Mike craves pizza. The standoff is like a culinary clash of the titans. Now, enter Stoicism stage left. Lisa takes a stoic pause, reflecting on the dichotomy of control. She can't control Mike's disdain for raw fish, but she can control her reaction. So instead of firing back with a passive-aggressive sushi roll comment, she suggests they play Epicurean roulette and leave the decision to a flip of a coin. Laughter bubbles up, the tension pops like a balloon, and suddenly, compromise tastes better than victory. Or, picture Jeff, our weather-obsessed friend from earlier, who's now navigating the tempest of family dynamics. His mother-in-law's criticism is like a hurricane, his nephew's tantrums strike like lightning, and let's not even start on his sister's silent treatments, frostier than an Arctic front. But Jeff, armed with Stoicism, performs a view from above. From this higher plane, he sees the family, gathering not as a battlefield, but as a colorful tapestry of personalities. Each critique rolls off him like raindrops off an umbrella, and every tantrum echoes softer than distant thunder. Jeff transforms from weather vane to anchor, unshaken by the familial storm. Now, let's turn our spotlight on LA, the journaling student who faces the drama of friendships like she's in a teen series. Each episode features a new misunderstanding or silent treatment saga. But Ella, versed in Stoic exercises, opts for journaling as her shield. She chronicles the ups and downs, not to fuel the gossip, but to extract lessons like an alchemist turns lead into gold. Her reflections help her to respond, not react, to turn the page on conflicts, and to script friendships fortified by understanding and respect. And finally, we have a double act. Tina, of telepathic texting fame, and her partner, Alex, the programmer. Communicating through screens, they sometimes find their texts lost in translation, with emojis and punctuation mark. Becoming cryptic runes of intent, they resolve to practice the evening review, a thoughtful Stoic rehearsal where they discuss their digital exchanges face to face, translating misunderstandings into mutual insights. Their relationship evolves from a series of missed cues to a dance of synchronized emotions. There it is, folks. The Stoic approach to relationships, spiced with a pinch of humor and a whole lot of perspective. It's about recognizing that while we can't control others' actions, we can definitely juggle our reactions with finesse. So next time the roller coaster of personal relationships takes a steep drop, remember the Stoics. Strap in, keep calm, and enjoy the ride. In our next episode, we'll endeavor to understand how Stoicism can streamline your decisions, tackling the infamous paradox of choice. It's going to be a philosophical feast, so bring your appetite for wisdom as we continue to fuse ancient insights with the frenzy of contemporary life. Transitioning from the arena of personal relationships to the bustling battleground of the workplace, we now find ourselves in a mock offices sitcom, where the stakes are high, the coffee is strong, and the printer is, as always, jammed. Picture the scene: a bustling open-plan office where the cubicles are as close as the deadlines, and the break room buzzes with the latest gossip. It's here, amidst the fluorescent lights and ringing phones, that Stoic principles become the unsung hero of the 9-to-5 grind. Enter our protagonist Dave. Recall our stoic sage from the traffic jam. Now he's facing a different kind of gridlock. Office politics. Dave's co-worker, Angela, is on a power trip, assigning tasks like she's throwing darts at a board of unfortunate minions. Meanwhile, the boss, Mr. Peterson, hasn't smiled since the stock market crash of '08. But Dave, ever the stoic, employs the sphere of choices to navigate these choppy corporate waters. He recognizes that while he can't control Angela's love for delegation or Peterson's furrowed brow, his own actions, his kindness, and quality of work remain under his command. With a wry smile and a nod to his stoic toolkit, Dave dives into his tasks, proving that sometimes the best way to climb the corporate ladder is to simply focus on the rung in front of you. Next, we zoom in on Susan, the middle manager caught in a whirlwind of emails, meetings about upcoming meetings, and the ever-persistent ASAP requests that flood her inbox like it's a lifeboat on the Titanic. Susan takes a stoic moment each morning, practicing contemplative rationality. She sifts through her tasks, discerning which are truly urgent from those that are simply loud. By prioritizing with a clear head, Susan not only survives the email tsunami, but she also rides the waves with the grace of an Olympic surfer. Cue the laugh track as we witness the plight of Gary, the it guru with a penchant for philosophical quips. He practices voluntary discomfort, a stoic exercise by enduring the temperamental air conditioning with a stoic resolve, letting the sweat be a reminder of human persistence. When the network crashes and his colleagues' computer literacy seems to crash with it, Gary channels Epictetus, focusing on his ability to solve problems calmly rather than joining the chorus of panic. Have you tried turning it off and on again? He asks, delivering the line with the timing of a seasoned comedian, proving that a little humor goes a long way in the stoic workplace. But what's a sitcom without the will? They won't. The dynamic duo, meet Lucy and Tom, sales and marketing reps respectively, whose playful banter and competitive spirit could power the office for days. And yet, in the spirit of sympathia, the stoic concept of mutual interdependence, they realize that their individual successes are intertwined with the whole. With every sales pitch and marketing campaign, they champion each other's strengths, transforming rivalry into a spirited collaboration. If the Stoics had a sitcom, these two would be the fan-favorite characters, teaching us that even in the cutthroat world of business, unity can trump competition. And there it is, the Stoicism infused office sitcom that's less about the drama and more about the daily victories over stress, ego, and the coffee machine. As our characters apply Stoicism to navigate the modern workplace, they find that the key to surviving and thriving is often found in the laughter shared between the lines of the script. Join us in the next segment, where we tackle the paradox of choice and decision-making, Stoic style. It's bound to be an episode filled with wit, wisdom, and perhaps, just maybe, a working printer. As our quirky narrative veers towards the Stoics' toolkit, it's time to unpack some ancient, yet surprisingly practical, techniques that our animated friends will help bring to life. Cast your eyes on the screen of imagination as we introduce a concept known as negative visualization, a tool that's as provocative as it sounds, and yet an instrument of profound tranquility. Visualize, if you will, our animated cast, gathered in a picturesque, digital Athenian forum. First up, we have Sally, your typical next-door neighbor with an all-too-familiar worry, the fear of losing her cherished belongings. But Sally is about to discover negative visualization. She closes her eyes and envisions her life without her prized possessions, her cozy house, even her trusty car. As the imagined loss unfolds, Sally experiences an unexpected twist, a deep appreciation for what she has in the here and now. When she opens her eyes, her attachment to material things has softened, replaced by a newfound gratitude that glows brighter than any virtual effect. Meanwhile, in the corner of our animated forum, Bob the businessman is distraught over potential future failures. He's about to present a pitch that could make or break his career. Bob takes a deep breath and embarks on a negative visualization exercise. He pictures his presentation tanking, the audience unimpressed, the deal slipping through his fingers. But as he dwells in this virtual downpour of troubles, he finds himself oddly at peace. He's prepared, not just for success, but for failure too. This stoic rehearsal liberates him from the chains of anxiety, and he strides onto the stage, not as a businessman walking a tightrope, but as a philosopher who's transcended his fears. Cut to a park scene where Emily, a teenager plagued by peer pressure and social expectations, sits on a sun-dappled bench. Through negative visualization, she foresees friendships fading, trends toppling, and her social status dwindling. The animated leaves fall around her as she contemplates these social losses. Yet, as she opens her eyes, a smile breaks like dawn. She's free from the tyranny of likes and follows. Her self-worth is no longer tethered to the fleeting whims of adolescence. Instead, Emily finds comfort in her own company, her value untouched by the ebb and flow of social tides. These demonstrations aren't just for show. They're the pixelated heartbeats of Stoicism in action. Our animated characters, though conjured from bits and bytes, embody the Stoic practice of negative visualizations, turning it from an abstract concept into a digital storyboard of wisdom. By embracing potential negatives, they, and by extension, you, the viewer, can cultivate a robust mental garden, one that flourishes not in spite of the hypothetical droughts, but because of them. Stay tuned as our narrative wades deeper into the waters of Stoic serenity. In the coming segment, we'll leap into the world of voluntary discomfort and meet characters who'll show us that there's more to discomfort than meets the eye. That, in fact, it can be a peculiar source of empowerment and joy. As we venture further into our animated Stoic narrative, we arrive at a series of vignettes that deftly blend humor with heroism, showcasing our characters as they navigate life's curveballs with a Stoic flair. These comical skits are not just for entertainment, they're visual parables of resilience in the face of adversity. Picture this: Steve, a once strutting peacock of the corporate world, now finds himself plucked of his feathers after a sudden job loss. The scene is set in his living room, a half-opened box of belongings by his side, and the pink slip doubling as a coaster for his now cold coffee. However, instead of wallowing, Steve decides to enact the Stoic exercise of turning the obstacle upside down. Our animated Steve imagines himself as a character in a laugh track and all, where each rejection email amps up the comedy. With every no, Steve reinforces his resolve, reminding himself that the role of unemployed is merely a character he's playing. This is not a setback. It's a setup for a triumphant comeback. Cue applause. Transition to a kitchen where Janet grapples with the domestic disaster of a sunken souffle, her third attempt at mastering the fickle French dessert. In the midst of eggshells and flour clouds, Janet pauses to summon the spirit of amor fati, the love of one's fate. An exaggerated sigh escapes her as she theatrically embraces the culinary calamity, declaring, "This souffle may not rise, but my spirits will." With a flourish, she turns the souffle's collapse into a deconstructed dessert trend, laughing as she serves the gooey masterpiece to her bemused family. Next, we join Tim in a dentist's waiting room, nervously eyeing the door as if it's the gateway to doom. His animated leg bounces with exaggerated speed, a caricature of his anxiety. But then, he remembers the Stoic principle of embracing voluntary discomforts and decides to treat the impending root canal as a training session for his soul. Channeling his inner Marcus Aurelius, Tim transforms dental dread into a mental badge of endurance, ready to face the drill with a smile. The dentist, also animated, gives a thumbs up to the camera, acknowledging Tim's imperturbable demeanor. Finally, we arrive at a park bench where Gloria, the retiree, sits feeding pigeons. A sudden downpour sends everyone scrambling for cover. Except for Gloria. She spreads her arms wide, inviting the rain to drench her, much to the surprise and snickers of our animated bystanders. Gloria practices negative visualization in real time, welcoming the discomfort to remind herself of life's impermanence and the joy found in simply being alive. Whether soaked or sun-kissed, And so, through these comical skits, our characters illustrate the Stoic art of handling hardships. They don't just endure life's curveballs. They catch and throw them back with a chuckle. By viewing obstacles through a lens of levity and embracing life's inevitable ups and downs, they reinforce their resilience and invite us to do the same. Join us in the next theme as we shift from the comedic to the contemplative, exploring how the Stoic practice of mindful acceptance can transform even the most mundane moments into profound episodes of enlightenment. Stay tuned, because in the world of Stoicism, even the act of brewing coffee can become a lesson in the art of living. As we scroll through the endless news feed of life, let's take a playful yet piercing look at how Stoicism can be the ultimate filter for the social media frenzy. Imagine we're in an animated world where likes are currency and every post is a bid for validation. Here, we find our character, Olivia, caught in the crossfire of online debates and the echo chamber of digital drama. Olivia sits at her desk, her screen aglow with notifications, each one a siren call to the rocky shores of online engagement. But before she dives into the tempest, she takes a stoic pause, channeling the dichotomy of control. She asks herself, can I control the opinions of others? Can I command the tides of the internet? With a chuckle, she realizes the absurdity of such power. Instead, she decides to focus on her own content, crafting messages that reflect her values with the tranquility of a philosopher untouched by the digital squall. In another corner of our animated universe, we find Max, whose digital life is a whirlwind of viral videos and trending hashtags. But amidst this, Max decides to practice a voluntary discomfort by going on a digital detox. Our animated world dims as he steps away from the screen, and the silence that follows is louder than any notification. He ventures into the world's son's smartphone, embracing the awkwardness of face-to-face conversations and the once familiar sound of his own thoughts. It's a comical sight, our character fumbling with actual maps and missing bus stops. But with each step, Max's smile grows, liberated from the leash of likes and the pressure of posts. Back in the virtual arena, we witness Lily, a social media influencer who feels the weight of her followers' expectations. Her every move is scrutinized, her every post dissected. In a whimsical twist, she turns to journaling, a Stoic staple, to distance herself from the online persona she's crafted. Each entry is a step back into reality, a reminder of who she is beyond the pixels and praise. She finds humor in the contrast between her influencer issues and the timeless human condition, recognizing that even the Stoics would have had a field day dissecting the concept of influence. And then there's Ethan, whose feed is a battleground of political uproar and societal critique. But instead of entering the fray with fury, Ethan invokes the view from above, seeing the social media landscape as a mosaic of humanity, each person a tile in a larger picture. From this vantage point, the conflicts seem less like wars and more like the brushstrokes of a larger canvas. With a wry smile, he engages in discourse with the ease of a Stoic, knowing that while he can present his perspective, the outcome is as fluid as the ever-changing algorithms. Through the lens of Stoicism, our characters navigate the digital domain with wit and wisdom, turning potential online angst into opportunities for growth and humor. They remind us that when faced with a deluge of social media, we can choose to be like the Stoics, not swayed by the storm, but rather learning to dance in the digital rain. In the next act of our Stoic saga, we'll tackle the all-too relatable theme of work-life balance. So, don't log off yet. Our journey through the Stoics' Guide to Modern Living is just getting started. Stay with us as we continue to blend ancient philosophy with the art of thriving in a connected world. While the world outside spins with the relentless rhythm of change, let's turn our gaze to a series of vibrant animated sequences that gracefully embody the Stoic art of embracing adaptability. Set in a world where the pace of change is as rapid as a time-lapse video, our characters show us that being like bamboo in the wind, flexible yet firmly rooted, is the key to thriving amidst flux. First, we meet Leo, an elderly gentleman with a penchant for the good old days, a time when phones were tethered to walls and social networking meant a chat over a fence. Our animation shows the world around Leo transforming at breakneck speed, Buildings rise and fall, cars shift, shapes, and technology evolves before his animated eyes. Instead of yearning for yesteryear, Leo adopts a stoic smile, pivoting with each new trend. His dance moves evolving alongside the changing tunes. With each change he gracefully illustrates the stoic principle of loving fates, amor fati, embracing the present with as much warmth as his cherished past. Cue the energetic beat as we switch scenes to Maya, a young entrepreneur whose startup ideas shuffle faster than a deck of cards in a magician's hands. Her animated environment is a whirl of brainstorming sessions, pivoting strategies, and fluctuating market trends. Instead of being overwhelmed by the ceaseless change, Maya practices contemplative rationality, sifting through the chaos with the discernment of a stoic. She's a maestro conducting an orchestra of innovation, harmonizing the discordant notes of change into a symphony of progress. Now, let's glide into the bustling cityscape where Jake, a city planner, grapples with the constant flux of urban demands. Our animated city pulses with life. Streets reroute, parks bloom, and communities grow as fast as Jake scribbles on the drawing board. Here, Jake channels the stoic virtue of practical wisdom, adapting to the dynamic needs of the city while maintaining the calm composure of a sage. The city breathes and stretches under his careful watch, a living entity that, like Jake, adapts without losing its essence. We then zoom into the colorful chaos of a home where a family of four manages daily routines that are anything but routine. The animation humorously exaggerates their whirlwind of activities. Kids morphing hobbies like chameleons change color, and parents juggling tasks from cooking to homework help. Amidst this domestic dance, the family practices stoic flexibility, bending with each new challenge yet unbroken in spirit. They show us that adaptability isn't about losing oneself in the change, but rather finding new ways to express one's core values. Our animated vignettes culminate in a grand finale where all our characters gather in a digital agora, sharing stories of their adaptability. It's a festival of change, a celebration of life's impermanence, where the stoic teachings become the timeless thread that binds them. Together, they toast to change, not as an adversary, but as an old friend who brings out the best in them. In these sequences, change is not the villain of the story but the catalyst. Our characters, through their stoic adaptability, transform the relentless tide of change from a force to be feared to a dance to be enjoyed. They demonstrate that the true animation lies not in the external world, but in the colorful resilience of the human spirit. Next, we will dive into the practice of mindful simplicity, where our animated cast tackles the complex tapestry of modern existence with a stoic approach that strips away the superfluous and reveals the profound beauty in the essentials. Stay tuned as we explore how less can indeed be more, and how simplicity can be the ultimate sophistication in our interconnected, high-speed world. And now we shift our focus to the power of perspective, a stoic superpower that's akin to wielding a mental kaleidoscope, transforming our view of reality with a simple twist. Join us in a series of fun, exaggerated vignettes where our characters demonstrate the profound impact of changing one's viewpoint, reshaping their world in the whimsical spirit of Stoicism. Imagine, if you will, Bianca, standing amidst a cluttered apartment, the detritus of a life lived in overdrive scattered around her. To the untrained eye, it's chaos incarnate, but through the stoic lens of cognitive reframings, the mess morphs into a canvas of potential. Our animation exaggerates Bianca's realization as the room spins, and suddenly, each item takes on new meaning. The pile of books becomes a tower of knowledge, the heap of clothes, a montage of memories. Laughing, Bianca begins to declutter, not with a sense of loss, but with the joy of curating her life's exhibition. Shift the scene to Derek, a high school coach watching his team lose yet another game. The scoreboard looms large, a digital titan of defeat, but Derek draws upon the stoic power of perspective, seeing beyond the numbers. The animated scoreboard transforms into a storybook, each point a narrative of growth, resilience, and teamwork. With a hearty chuckle, Derek reframes the loss, not as a mark of failure, but a triumph of spirit. His team, inspired by his outlook, finds solace not in the score, but in the story they've built together. Next up is Samantha, trapped in a bumper-to-bumper traffic snarl. The onks and fumes could choke the mirth out of a clown, but not our Sam. She employs the stoic view from above, and suddenly, we're in a vibrant animation where Samantha's car lifts off the ground. From her new aerial view, the traffic jam resembles a dynamic art piece, cars painting strokes of light across the canvas of the city. Chuckles replace curses as Samantha finds peace in the grand design, her frustration dissolving into the urban masterpiece below. We then zoom into a corporate boardroom where Alex faces a hostile takeover. The tension is thicker than a cartoon steak, enough to make any executive sweat bullets the size of golf balls. But Alex, grounded in Stoicism, practices perception shifting. In a flash, the boardroom becomes a chessboard, and his opponents, mere chess pieces. With a smirk, Alex sees the challenge not as a threat, but as a game to be played with strategy and calm. The room chuckles as Alex moves his pieces with the poise of a grandmaster, showcasing the power. Perspective holds over outcome. These vignettes serve as colorful reminders that the stoic power of perspective is a transformative force. Our characters don't just cope with their realities, they recreate them with humor and wisdom. By shifting perspectives, they reveal the magic hidden in the mundane and the epic tales waiting to be told in every setback. Join us for our next session, where we'll explore the stoic approach to gratitude in action. Prepare for heartwarming animations that will show how giving thanks can be an adventure in itself, proving that sometimes the best gifts in life are the moments we often overlook. Stay tuned as we continue to unfurl the stoic sails, navigating the vibrant seas of modern living with ancient charts. As we talk through the timeline of our day, let's infuse a dash of timeless stoic wisdom into the very fabric of our schedule. In our latest animated escapade, we invite you to join us in a realm where the clock hands dance to the tune of philosophy and time. Travel isn't just a sci-fi trope, but a humorous metaphor for mastering time the stoic way. Our story begins with Greg, a beleaguered office worker drowning in a sea of deadlines and meetings that could put even a time traveler in a tizzy. Greg gazes longingly at his Back to the Future poster, dreaming of a DeLorean to escape his time-stamped turmoil. But then, a stoic lightning bolt of realization strikes. He doesn't need a flux capacitor to manage his time. He needs the stoic virtue of present focuses. With a chuckle, Greg's animated self starts prioritizing tasks, focusing on the now, his actions more precise than the ticking of a metronome. Each completed task is a triumphant chime in his personal symphony of productivity. Cut to a endearing animation of Nancy, a serial procrastinator who could give the White Rabbit a run for his money in lateness. She wishes for a TARDIS to whisk her away from her procrastination woes. Then, inspired by Seneca's musings on time, Nancy adopts intentional living, scheduling her day with purpose, and not just the vague notion to do things. Each tick of the clock becomes her ally, as animated Nancy strides through her to-dos with the determination of a Time Lord on a mission. Her laughter echoes as she realizes that she's traveling through time, after all, one mindful second at a time. Now, imagine an animated clockwork city, where multitasking is the name of the game and Jim, our everyman, scrambles between tasks like a Doctor Who regeneration gone awry. Amidst this chaos, Jim embraces the stoic economy of effort, laughing at the absurdity of trying to be everywhere at once. He learns to channel his energy into one task at a time, his animated persona moving with the smooth efficiency of a well-oiled machine. Who needs a quantum leap when the stoic way propels you forward with the grace of chronomastery? And for the grand finale, we zoom into a bustling family kitchen where Rachel, a busy mom, juggles breakfast, school runs, and a mountain of chores that would make Sisyphus sympathize. Shh! Dreams of a Bill Judd Ted's excellent adventure to rally historical figures for help. Yet, she finds her stoic superpower in selective neglect, focusing on what matters most, even if it means some tasks are left for another time. The chuckles of her animated kitchen are a symphony to the art of doing less to achieve more, turning her daily grind into a waltz with time itself. These whimsical vignettes of Stoic time management show us that we need not traverse the space-time continuum to find peace in our schedules. By adopting a Stoic approach, complete with laughter and sagacity, managing time becomes less about clock watching and more about savoring each moment. So, as our animated journey through Stoic time management draws to a close, remember, you're the time traveler of your own life, and with a little Stoic humor and prudence, you can navigate your days with the poise of a philosopher unfettered by the relentless march of the clock. Next, we'll step into the ancient forum of Stoic decision-making, learning how the sages of yore can teach us to choose wisely in a world brimming with options. Get ready to laugh and learn as we continue our animated guide through the ultimate Stoicism guide for modern living. Let's flex our philosophical muscles and dive into a segment that's sure to raise both your heart rate and your spirits. Picture a gym unlike any other, a place where Stoicism meets sweat, and where every rep is infused with a dose of ancient wisdom. Welcome to the ultimate Stoic workout montage, a series of exercises that are as enlightening as they are entertaining. The scene opens with an animated version of our previously introduced character, Bob, the businessman. Bob steps onto a treadmill, not to chase after the ever-elusive horizon of success, but to practice running with reflection. With each step, Bob delves into Marcus Aurelius's meditations, pondering life's big questions. The treadmill becomes a pathway to wisdom, and Bob chuckles with each insight, jogging not just for physical fitness, but for mental fortitude as well. Next, we have Sarah from the smartwatch saga, who's found herself in a Stoic spin class. The room is a whirlwind of cycles, but Sarah rides in tranquility. She's practicing cycling through circumstances, a routine where each resistance level represents a challenge in life. As the instructor shouts to turn up the dial, Sarah imagines overcoming a personal obstacle, pedaling with a purpose. Her laughter is lost in the soundtrack of spinning wheels, a reminder that even the steepest hill is navigable with a Stoic mindset. Cut to a weightlifting platform where we see Alex, the programmer, lifting not just dumbbells but also his spirits. This is lifting with Epictetus's, where every lift is a reminder of his control over his own will. As Alex pushes against the weight, he imagines lifting his burdens, chuckling as he visualizes stress and anxiety as weights to be raised and then released. With each set, he grows not only stronger in body but also unshakable in spirit. Then, the montage shifts to a serene yoga studio, where Janet from the Shuffle Disaster stands in a tree pose that's as steady as the Stoics' resolve. She practices yoga with yielding, where each pose teaches the balance between resistance and acceptance. As Janet transitions from one asana to another, she contemplates the dichotomy of control, smiling as she holds a pose, understanding that balance in life, like in yoga, is about harmony with what we can and cannot change. Now to the boxing ring, where Tim from the dentist's waiting room dons gloves to spar with fate. He bobs and weaves in a dance hat. Cole's boxing with Fortuna, where each punch bag represents a twist of destiny. With a grin, Tim jabs at uncertainty, ducks under disappointment, and lands an uppercut on adversity. It's a humorous sight, Tim and fate in a friendly bout, a reminder that life's punches, though unpredictable, can be met with agility and laughter. And there it is, the Stoic workout montage, an animated celebration of physical and philosophical vigor. Our characters show us that exercise, like life, can be infused with Stoic joy and resilience. By blending humor with ancient wisdom, every sweat-drenched moment becomes a step towards self-mastery. As we wrap up this energizing segment, remember, just as the Stoics trained their minds, we've seen that training the body can be equally enlightening. Stay tuned for our next adventure, where we'll journey into the symphony of Stoic relaxation techniques, a paradoxical twist where tranquility and effort meet in perfect harmony. Keep your togas on. This philosophical workout is just the warm-up. And so, dear viewers, we pivot seamlessly from the animated energy of the Stoic workout montage to a quieter, more introspective scene where our animated characters gather beneath the sprawling branches of the proverbial tree of knowledge. This time, we delve into the harmonious convergence of Stoicism and mindfulness, two ancient practices that today stitch a seamless tapestry of awareness and tranquility. Imagine our friend Bianca, who we last saw turning her cluttered apartment into a curated gallery of memories. Now, she sits cross-legged beneath the animated tree, her breathing synced with the rustling leaves, engaging in a quirky meditation session she dubs Stoic breathing. With each inhale, she visualizes drawing in the wisdom of Zeno and Seneca, and with each exhale, she releases any attachment to things outside her control. A light chuckle escapes her as a squirrel scampers by, disrupting her focus, but in true Stoic fashion, she acknowledges the distraction and returns to her breath, a living example of present moment awareness. Transition to Derek, our ever-optimistic high school coach, who finds himself in the lotus position on an adjacent patch of animated grass. He's in the midst of what he calls meditative replay, a unique practice where he revisits the day's game not with regret, but with a mindful gratitude for the effort and passion shared on the field. Each player's move is reimagined with kindness and laughter, reinforcing the Stoic belief that it's not the outcome, but the intention and the action that truly matter. Off to the side, our businessman Bob reappears, now donning a robe and a serene expression as he engages in philosophical contemplation. His meditation is a silent dialogue with the great Stoic thinkers, a mental rendezvous where he poses questions and chuckles at the imagined responses of his ancient mentors. The animation playfully shows thought bubbles filled with Stoic quotes that bob around Bob like fireflies, illuminating paths of insight through the practice of deep reflection. And then there's Samantha, caught in the mundane gridlock of daily commutes. Here, she transforms her car into a mobile meditation chamber, practicing mindful driving. As the animated traffic inches forward, Samantha remains a bastion of calm, observing the sensations of her grip on the steering wheel, the rhythm of the windshield wipers, and the symphony of city sounds. Her chuckle is a gentle reminder that mindfulness can turn even the most tedious of tasks into an opportunity for Stoic serenity. As our quirky meditation session unfolds, it becomes clear that Stoicism and mindfulness are not just compatible, they are symbiotic. The Stoic focus on the internal, the things within our control, aligns perfectly with the mindful practice of observing without judgment, remaining rooted in the present. Our animated characters demonstrate that this merger is not a somber affair. It's peppered with moments of gentle humor, self-compassion, and the light-hearted recognition that perfection is not the goal, but rather the ongoing pursuit of growth and understanding. As we bid adieu to this tranquil vignette, let us carry with us the image of our animated friends, each finding peace amidst the gentle chaos of their inner and outer worlds. Embrace the merging of Stoicism and mindfulness in your own life and discover the quiet joy that can be found in the simplicity of a single breath, the depth of a moment of reflection, or the subtle humor in life's imperfections. Prepare to sail on to smoother seas as we steer our narrative ship towards the sunlit horizon of Stoic serenity in daily life. Our journey with the ultimate Stoicism guide for modern living continues, buoyed by the laughter and lightness that even the venerable Stoics would endorse. As we wade through the saturated streams of pop culture, it's clear that Stoic themes have been quietly influencing some of our favorite modern epics. Let's turn on the projector and spotlight the Stoic wisdom hiding in plain sight on silver screens and TV static, accompanied of course by our own brand of animated commentary. Take the intergalactic odyssey of Star Wars. Picture a Jedi laser sword in hand, a veritable Epictetus in space. The Jedi Code, it's Stoicism with a side of midichlorians, their mantra of emotional control, accepting what they cannot change, and using their powers for the greater good is Stoicism repackaged for a galaxy far, far away. Do or do not. There is no try, muses Master Yoda, and chuckling, we realize he's essentially teaching the dichotomy of control to a young Luke Skywalker. Now, cast your mind over to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, where amid the spells and potions, a Stoic hero stands tall, or rather, sits with legs dangling. Professor Dumbledore. With his twinkling eyes and sage advice, Dumbledore embodies the Stoic virtues, particularly wisdom and justice. He faces the darkest aspects of life with equanimity and a mischievous smile that suggests he knows the Stoic secret to immortality. Living a life aligned with virtue is a magic all its own. In the gritty streets of Batman's Gotham, the Dark Knight rises as a figure of stoic fortitude. Bruce Wayne masks his pain, not with a cowl, but with the resilience of Marcus Aurelius. He transforms personal tragedy into societal justice, a stoic endeavor that would have Seneca nodding in approval. That is, if Seneca fancied wearing a bat costume to make his point. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me, Batman declares, and we can't help but chuckle at his unintentionally stoic branding. Zooming in on the fictional White House of the West Wing, we see President Bartlett juggling the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune with a grace that smacks of Stoicism. With his measured responses to unfathomable stresses, Bartlett channels the wisdom and justice of the Stoic sage, proving that even within the hallowed halls of power, Stoic virtues stand the test of time and politics. Let's not forget the absorbing world of Game of Thrones, where Tyrion Lannister drinks wine and dishes out Stoicism as skillfully as he navigates the treacherous waters of Westeros. Despite life dealing him a less than royal flush, Tyrion embodies the Stoic principle of making the best use of what's in your power and accepting what's not. His capacity to find humor in bleak circumstances often leaves us chuckling at his wit, which is as sharp as Valyrian steel. And so, as we flick through the channels and wander the cinematic landscapes, we find that Stoic philosophy has been the uncredited scriptwriter for some of our most beloved characters. It's a gentle reminder that these enduring lessons are not just academic musings, but form the very backbone of the stories that resonate with us. Next, we'll take a philosophical detour through the digital realm, examining how Stoicism can be the firewall we need in the age of the internet. Stay tuned as we align pixels with prudence and navigate the information superhighway with the steadiness of a Stoic sage. And now for a whimsical interlude in our journey through Stoic wisdom, we present Debunking Stoicism Myths, a segment that shines a comical light on the misconceptions surrounding this venerable philosophy. Prepare for a series of animated skits that playfully bust the myths and reveal the truth with a charm that even the Stoics would have to smile about. First up, we burst the bubble of the myth that Stoics are emotionless robots. Cue our animated robot Stoictron 3000 trying to adapt to human life. Stoictron attends a birthday party, and as the kids laugh and the cake is cut, it declares in a monotone voice, "I am completely unaffected by this joyous event." The kids exchange puzzled glances before our real Stoic hero, Jake from the city planning vignette, steps in. He explains with a grin that Stoics feel all the feels. They just don't let emotions steer their ship into stormy waters. Jake joins the party, laughing and partaking in the fun, showing that a true Stoic isn't a robot, but a wise navigator of the emotional seas. Next, we tackle the shibboleth that Stoicism is all about enduring life's hardships with grim resignation. We watch as our animated character, Susan, from The Office Chaos Scenario, prepares for a day of endurance, dressed in Spartan armor, ready to face a hailstorm of tasks with a dour expression. But as she braves her day, her colleague, the Stoic guru Dave, points out with a chuckle that Stoicism isn't about enduring life, it's about enhancing it. He swaps her armor for comfortable attire and demonstrates that Stoicism equips us to approach challenges with positivity and proactive strategies, not just stoic silence and a stiff upper lip. The third myth we debunk is the idea that Stoics are loners who shun society. In a humorous sketch, we see a hermit, complete with a long beard and a sign reading Stoic Hermitage, turning away visitors in search of solitude. Suddenly, an animated party, bus full of our Stoic friends, including Leo and Maya from the adaptability sequences, pulls up. They invite the hermit for a road trip, explaining that Stoics value community and human connection. They may seek inner peace, but they know that true tranquility comes from engaging with the world, not hiding from it. The hermit's cave turns into a lively hub of philosophical discussions and shared laughter. And finally, we dispel the notion that Stoicism is outdated and irrelevant. Our animated historian, clad in a toga, solemnly walks through a museum of ancient artifacts, lamenting that Stoicism belongs with the relics. Just then, our band of Stoic characters bursts in, each engaged in modern activities. Bianca with her mindful meditation app, Derek coaching soccer with his Stoic sportsmanship, and Samantha cruising in her mobile meditation chamber. They all share a laugh, with the historian reminding him that Stoicism is alive and well, thriving in the hustle and bustle of the 21st century. Through these playful, animated skits, we've light-heartedly debunked the myths that cloud the true essence of Stoicism. So, let's wipe away the misconception dust and polish our understanding of this practical philosophy as we continue our exploration. Up next, we'll navigate the serenity of Stoic silence, a quiet so profound it speaks volumes. Stay tuned as our animated guide to Stoicism playfully carries us deeper into the art of living well. In our animated Odyssey of Stoic exploration, we now turn to the heart of the matter, the puzzle of happiness. Behold a parade of playful thought experiments and visual gags that delve into Stoicism's unique answer to the happiness question. Picture our cheerful friend, Sarah, now freed from the tyranny of her smartwatch, embarking on a whimsical quest to uncover the Stoic recipe for happiness. She's depicted in a vibrant animated kitchen, surrounded by ingredients that represent life's various pleasures and pains. With each addition to her mixing bowl, whether a dash of delayed gratification or a sprinkle of self-reflection, she chuckles at the absurdity of trying to bake instant happiness. Yet, as she follows the Stoic cookbook, favoring virtue over vice and equanimity over excess, the aroma of genuine joy begins to fill the air. It's a delightful sight, seeing Sarah realize that happiness, Stoic style, isn't a ready-made dish, but something that's lovingly crafted over time. Transition to a board game night with Bianca and her friends. The game, it's the pursuit of eudaimonia, the Stoic version of joy. The animated characters roll dice that prompt them to discuss real-life scenarios, but instead of advancing on the board, they gain points for wisdom, courage, and resilience. The laughs ring out as Bianca's piece lands on misfortune, and instead of despair, the card reads, "Congratulations, an opportunity for growth." True to form, the Stoic party is less about winning and more about the playful journey toward bettering oneself. Then, there's the animated gym, where we find Bob, now a Stoic fitness enthusiast, lifting weights under a banner that reads, "Happiness is a muscle. Flex it." Each rep is a nod to a Stoic virtue, and with each lift, Bob's grin widens. He's not just building physical strength, he's exercising his capacity for joy. Onlookers can't help but laugh as Bob literally and figuratively raises the bar on happiness, showing that in the Stoic gym, it's not about how much you can lift, but how you lift it, with a light heart and a willing spirit. Zoom in on a library where Derek, the coach turned philosopher, hosts a book club on Seneca's Letters from a Stoics. The catch: for every insight into happiness, members must perform